Hey, what's up? It's Saweetie. I'm back for round 2 with Nix on hardknocktv. Make sure you watch all this shit because we talking about a lot of good things in here. And I'm excited for this new EP that's out. Make sure you purchase it, stream it, and let me know what you think.
From the Bay to Sacramento all the way to SoCal, I'm a West Coast nigga with a bougie ass sound, and I love me a real nigga, fuck them clowns. Fresh wax, Gucci gown, with my man's in town.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been about almost a year since we had our first interview, which I really enjoyed.
Thank you.
Your EP is coming out tonight.
I'm hella excited.
Yeah?
It's been a year. And you know, in like today's age, it's like people come out every 2, 6, 8 months, you know? It's been like a year.
You put out some loosies in between just to like keep everybody
Some loosies, but it was all experimenting. This one, I was like, I love all these songs and they're going on my project, so I'm excited to share it.
So before we get to the project, because we're going to get to the project, I just want to kind of like tap into different things that have happened since the last time we talked. You went on tour, your first tour.
We did spot dates.
Spot dates? What was that like?
It was exciting. I think the most memorable experience I had was when I was booked by Yale, and the fact that, you know, I went to USC, so the fact that somebody else at a dope-ass university booked me was just super exciting. They love the show, so I'm eventually gonna go back to like speak to their students.
What was being on the road like?
Being on the road is fun when you're in fun cities.
Fair.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed just meeting my fans and just hearing their stories to why they love my music, so things like that keep me going.
Are there any particular conversations throughout your tour that kind of like stood out?
One thing that I just hear a lot is they be like, bitch, you be inspiring me to get to the bag, get to this money. Like I wake up and I listen to you every morning. And like when I hear those things from like a whole bunch of different girls who don't even know each other, it's like, wow, like this is like a universal just feeling throughout my music. So I'm just proud that I'm able to make them feel that way.
I know that you're repping, you know, you're half black, half Asian. I see that, you know, in a lot of the comments, a lot of the Asian community like reps the Filipino community, reps really hard for you.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of Filipinos and Asians in mainstream hip hop. How does it feel to be one of the few that, you know, that fan base could really feel like they have someone?
Right, I just feel responsible. I feel responsible to just represent where I'm from and my background to like the fullest and to the dopest I can, which is why I'm happy this project is coming out, because it's just been so long and so much growth has taken part in this 1 year gap. But like you said, I have some loosies, so I mean that's a little bit, but I'm just trying to like feed them a whole, you know, course meal.
Let's talk about your creative process. Last time we talked a lot about you writing in your room. What is it different now that you're writing in a studio? Is it more pressure? Is there?
It's no more writing in my room. I've learned to just write in the studio, because I've learned that when I write at home and I bring it to the studio, I have to reenact how I felt in that moment. So when I'm just at the studio, I can just be as raw as I can be and the emotion comes out right there and there's no acting. So I prefer to write in the studio. I'm getting better at just, you know, freestyling until I can't freestyle no more, and then I do like a melody to like finish the verse, but that's just kind of like my creative process.
You hear the beat and you just kind of like freestyle just to get words out, and then you catch the melody, and then do you go back and like arrange words, or like what?
So I'll get my phone out sometimes if I'm like struggling, but if I could just, I know a beat is just hella dope if I'm able to just say how I feel and it come out dope after that.
I feel like this EP has a lot of energy to it. There's definitely some boppers on there.
Oh, you heard it?
Oh yeah. I heard it the last 2 days.
Oh, that's dope.
Has touring kind of influenced the type of music you want to make?
Definitely. And I feel like touring had to do a lot with what I did with this EP, only because with High Maintenance and Icy Girl, when I play those songs at, you know, my concerts or my shows, the crowd goes crazy and the energy is up. And although like my fans like love my other songs, I wanted to kind of keep that energy there. So that kind of influenced like just the high energy, the more aggressive approach to the songs, and just an overall just feel good and party type vibe. Because I feel like my EP is more so of an attitude. Like it's definitely an attitude, and because girls have told me how they felt when they listened to my EP, I wanted to continue that attitude to give to them.
What would you say that attitude is that you want to kind of like people to take away from listening to the EP?
I feel like it's bossed up, It's, you know, a hustling mentality, and it's fun. And I feel like, especially when we at this age, like girls and boys, men and women, should just be having fun. Like, we living in such a golden time of hip hop with all these females out right now, so it's important that I do my thing too.
While you've been doing all these press runs, is there like a question that people ask a lot that you just get tired of, that you're like, I'm good?
I think a question that I'm tired of is just who inspires you. Because at the end of the day, I'm an artist, so I have a bug. So I'm not always thinking about who came before me. I'm not thinking about who inspired me. I'm thinking about the stuff I just want to think about. And it's just like, I'm just tired of that question.
Make sure not to have that in the next question. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have of you?
I think the biggest misconception that people have of me is that I'm just a pretty girl that raps. Only because I've been writing for a very long time. I've been writing since I was 14. And, you know, it just so happens that I'm cute. But I take this very serious. I work extremely hard to get to where I am. So when things that happen that affect my brand in a bad way, I take that very serious. And I think that with this project, I'll be able to show my growth. And I feel like it's unfortunate, but rap is like a sport. It's constantly like who's winning and who's proving themselves. So I feel like with that mentality and being that I was a year-round athlete when I was a little kid, I rely on that type of, you know, mentality to get me through this rap game, because that's exactly what it is. It's a game.
I heard you're big into documentaries.
Yes.
Yeah, what are some of your favorites?
So my favorites right now, I love sports documentaries.
Okay.
I love the Allen Iverson one.
Which one?
On Netflix. I just love how innovative he was. Like I said, like, he's one of the people that made me just really want to get into a creative space, because when he chose to dress the way he did, when he chose to get the braids, he did it because nobody else was doing it.
Yep.
And I think as artists, that's very important. Like, although people came before us and although we may draw inspiration from the past, it's important to draw inspiration from ourselves, because that's what makes us unique.
What Tupac brought to the game, I feel like he kind of brought that to basketball in a way.
Exactly. I wish I was like old enough to like appreciate, you know, him being in the game, because he retired early. Yep. And then another one was a 30 for 30 Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
like,
prime time.
Like, that man is a beast. Yep. I'm inspired more by sports documentaries than music documentaries.
Why do you think that is?
I think because my core is an athlete, and I'm able to just see things from a different perspective. Like, it's not like a music documentary where it's just like I have to apply their journey to my journey. Like, I'm able to interpret sports documentaries and then apply them to like myself. In the middle of your crazy schedule, do you still have time to like play sports, or like you just take the mentality and put that in the music? Because I have such a crazy schedule, I'm not able to really play sports like that. But if I could, I definitely love powder puff, and I love volleyball. Last time you were here, we shared our common appreciation of J. Cole's music. After our conversation, you actually gave me a video of you performing for him when you were in college. We put that with the interview. I heard you guys actually met. Yes. Take me to that day. What was that day like? What was going through your head? So I met him again, All-Star Weekend. It was a party, so you know, when it's at a party, I try to keep my conversations with people who I don't know like that very short, because it's a lot of like yelling and what'd you say? Yep. So I try to keep it short. But I saw him, and I think I tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, hey, like, I just want to introduce myself. And he was like, I know who you are. And I'm just like, you know, I'm trying not to fangirl at this, you know, celebrity party. So I'm just like, oh, okay. He was like, no, like, I respect what you're doing. You know, gave me words of encouragement. And like I said, I try to keep it short. I wasn't trying to be cool, but I kept it short. And I'm just like, thank you. I really appreciate that. Like, you know, I look up to you, and you're one of my favorite artists. But I wish it wasn't at a party, so that we could have actually had like a conversation. Did you remember that when you were rapping for him, or like when you saw the video, it kind of like brought back memories? Or? See, that's why I wish we had a conversation, because I'm not sure if he remembers that moment, but he did tell me that he saw the video.
Did you guys talk about collaborating at all? Is that something that we can see in the future?
I mean, you know, when you have like a conversation and then you leave and you're like, damn, I wish I would have said that. That's something I wish I would have said.
I have a feeling you guys will run into each other again soon.
I would love that.
What would a Saweetie J. Cole song be about or sound like?
I think it'd have a lot of bass because he's good with that. And
you want him to produce it too?
Yes.
Dope.
Oh, hell yeah. What you mean? Yeah. No, I would picture it sounding like ATM.
Okay.
Like up tempo, but still talking about some real shit.
Dope. I can't wait for that to happen. Take me to the day you shot the Up Now video. You took over the Oakland Coliseum for that. So somebody who grew up Sacramento Bay, like, what did that mean to you?
When I shot at the Oakland Coliseum, it was very nostalgic for me because I went there as a little kid to like the sports game. So the fact that I was the first artist to shoot there, I feel like it was a very historical moment, not only for me, but for like G-Eazy, 40 who came through, and just everybody who was from the Bay and who showed up to that shoot. I feel like it was a great moment for us because we haven't had that yet. But it was a lot of fun. It was like a party on set.
Yeah. I mean, you have the ambassador of the Bay. You have 40 Water on there. What was that like?
He's like an uncle. He's so lovable. And he's just hella cool. And he brought his drink on set. And, you know, it tastes good. So shout out to him for having a dope, you know, liquor business going on. But it was just a lot of fun. I
felt like him and G were competing for the drink competition. I was like, 40 got a drink, G got a drink, everybody got a drink. When's the Saweetie drink coming?
You know, we're working on it.
Yeah? What would it be? What kind of alcohol would it be?
It'd definitely be a cognac.
A cognac.
I'm a cognac girl.
Okay, I hear you shouting Henny out every once in a while.
I actually had Louis the 13th for the first time the other night.
It's crazy, right?
I started recording with The Dream.
Dope.
He's a dope, you know, artist, producer, and creative, and he was like, you ain't never have no Louis the 13th? So he got me some. Back
to 40 Water. Is that somebody else that we could see you linking up with in the studio? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
No, definitely. I think he's just so creative, and he's come up with a lot of Bay Area vocabulary that is around today. So he's so embedded in the culture. I would love to work with him. As
a young entrepreneur, is 40 someone that you also, outside of the rap game, but just what he's done with like opening up all the franchises, he's got his own wine, he's got all this different stuff. Is that someone you also kind of like peep game from in terms of as a young entrepreneur? Because I know that's also part of your repertoire.
Yes, he's somebody who I would definitely look up to as an entrepreneur. I would love to have that conversation with him because since we're speaking about being an entrepreneur, these were the shirts I sold in college that helped me, you know.
Oh, those are the ones?
Yes, this was part of the Money Making Mommy line.
Dope. So you bring that back?
Yeah. And because I'm dropping the EP today, I wanted to like wear some of my merch. And because I haven't had the Icy apparel come in yet, I was like, you know what, let me take it back to Money Making Mommies.
You also got the Icy chain.
The Icy chain on, I got the lip gloss. We got a lot of stuff coming.
And the last year you released Pissed.
Sipping rosé, first class, yeah, I'm lit. AP, bust down, jumping off the wrist. Republicans on the plane, mugging on a bitch, making white man money so these white folk pissed.
What was going through your mindset when you wrote that song?
When I wrote Pissed, I'm not gonna say I'm not the type of person because I've had responded back to some people in my comments, but I was just really irritated with the gossip and the criticism that I was getting from my music. Because although they, you know, they tell us not to read comments, they tell us, you know, don't do this, don't do that. But like Erykah Badu said, you know, I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive about my shit. Yep. And I was just irritated, so I kind of funneled that energy into a song.
Next track you released
with
Kid Ink and Lil Wayne. What was that experience like?